How's it going, everybody? Junior from buymeaniphone.com, and today we have the video review of the Marshall Major headphones. Now, these headphones were sound to be free for review by Marshall, and they retail on their website for $120. Now, Marshall is really prominently known in the music industry as a guitar amplifier company, and this is their first attempt at a headphone. This is the Majors, and they are a pretty interesting set of headphones, and we're going to talk about them today. So the build quality on the headphones themselves is pretty good. You have this faux leather top here. It does feel really nice. It does give off a nice smell. It actually might be real leather. I'm not actually completely sure. On the inside here, you get a very nice amount of padding right here. On the inside, you have the signature of Dr. Jim Marshall, who founded Marshall headphones. And then here on the inside, you have two imprints of the Marshall logo on the left and right ear pad. So you also get the right and left marking on the headphone as well. So taking a look at the cups of the headphone, you have this square kind of cup design. I'm not personally a big fan of it, just because it doesn't isolate your ear as well, and as a result, it doesn't actually provide the best sound quality possible if they had gone with a round design. So that's personally not, this is personally a con for me, but I think the headphones do provide decent sound isolation with your ear. But I also think that if they had gone with a round design, it would have done a better job. The cushions themselves are pretty comfortable. No issues there. They're like fluffy little pillows. Here on the inside, you get this little really unique kind of mesh design that is supposed to kind of replicate the look of a guitar amplifier, which I thought looked pretty cool, and it feels kind of cool as well. In addition, these headphones also fold up as well. They're similar to the Urban Ears. They are actually designed by the same company as Urban Ears. So they fold up like this and you just wrap the cable around. Now, talking about the cable itself, it is a pretty interesting cable, if I can get this untangled. But what I find really cool about this cable is that it has this coiled wire, which allows you to extend it to a very long distance. And I think Marshall probably implemented this coiled cable just so that if you are using it for guitar and just to monitor your sound, and you have to go from a decent distance away from your guitar amplifier, you have the coiled cable right here. In addition, in the package, you also get this 1/4 inch adapter, which has the cool white imprint right here. And then you also goes to a 3.5mm headphone jack, which will work with your iPod, your iPhone, basically any audio device these days. You also have this little spring here, which prevents it from kind of breaking off at the connection point right here, which is really nice to see, and I wish some more headphones actually did this. The headphone is actually recession proof. It's going to be able to fit most headphones. I found that it did not fit some cases, such as the Switch Easy Clips, basically all the Switch Easy cases, because those are very recessed headphone jacks, and so this headphone jack will fit the majority of iPhone cases and Android cases, if you will. So in terms of comfort, these are pretty decently comfortable headphones. I talked about the ear cushions earlier. The padding is very nice and they sit very well on your ear. However, after a couple of hours of listening, I found that the cushions and the ear cups kind of got warm, and you kind of had to let your ears breathe for a second and then put the headphones back on. Now, in terms of sound quality, these headphones are not your typical headphones. A lot of headphones these days are very bass heavy, and they don't really emphasize the trebles, the mids, the highs, etc. These headphones are kind of different in that they are very bright. And what I mean by bright is that they provide very strong trebles, and I think they mostly do this to emphasize guitar, because Marshall is a guitar amp company. They really want you to use these to monitor your guitar using your guitar amp. So what I found was kind of a problem is that they were very bright. Sometimes they were too bright, and they were kind of hard to listen to. When you're listening to a guitar solo, you want to hear the guitar come out in the track, but I've just felt that at times that these were just too bright, and it was just kind of hard to listen to. However, one pro that I found with the headphones themselves is that they are very good for speech, for podcasts, for radio. I thought these sounded pretty excellent for speech, because they were very bright, and they provided a very good treble, which is where most people lie in terms of voice. So I found that these really replicated voice very well, and they really provided an enjoyable listening experience for radio and podcasts. However, I found them to be a little too bright in terms of just everyday listening, in terms of listening to pop and stuff like that. These are actually decent headphones for jazz, which I found because they have pretty strong trebles. But I just found that at times that they were a little too bright for rock and roll, which I think these headphones are kind of aimed towards, and that is the main audience that Marshall would like to go for. Now, in terms of bass, these have pretty solid bass. The bass is definitely not the feature part of the track, which is very different from many headphones in the industry today, such as the Beats by Dre, Sold by Ludacris, all those other crappy celebrity headphones. These I found had some pretty solid bass. It wasn't the greatest. It's not always going to be the cleanest. It's not the quickest. It's going to lag behind on faster paced music like dubstep, like electronica, like hip hop. But in general, I thought the bass was satisfying for rock. The bass is fine and does keep up with the track. But with heavier bass music like electronica, like dubstep, like hip hop, like rap, I don't think these headphones will always keep up. In terms of highs, I thought the highs were pretty solid. Nothing to rave home about, but nothing to really criticize. I thought they were pretty solid. They were definitely featured in the track, definitely weren't recessed. But I just found that these headphones were a little too bright for me. But I really enjoy listening to these headphones, primarily for the purpose of radio, for podcasts. And I really thought they sounded fantastic for those. These are pretty efficient headphones, so plugging them into a headphone amplifier isn't always necessary, but they do actually sound better with a headphone amplifier. So if you do have a headphone amplifier, these headphones will sound better with them. Now, whether or not I think they're worth the $120 price range, I personally think they do not. I think there are better headphones at even $70, $80. I think the Sony MDRX B500s provide better acoustic, better guitar listening experience than these. I also think the Urban Ears, which are only $70, actually provide a better sound output than the Marshall Majors. However, these are a pretty solid pair of headphones. If you want to use these primarily for the use of listening to speech, for podcasts, for radio, I would definitely go ahead and buy these. These sound pretty fantastic for that. However, for everyday music listening, I thought these were a little too bright. So that's been my review of the Marshall Major headphones. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to check out the Facebook and Twitter links down in the description below. And make sure to head over to buymeaniphone.com. Make sure to rate, comment, and subscribe. That's all for you guys today. My name is June, and I'll see you guys in the next one.